You know, no one's ever gone on this island. No one, real media, anyone really that I know of has ever gone on. We only get the information from the government and the mainstream media, and those are the two things you can never trust with information.
This information out there to expose the bigger lies that the mainstream media is not covering.
Well, hello from Jeffrey Epstein's island. Walk around the whole island, there's like no one here. Very interesting place. The swimming pool looks like it's in good shape, so oddly quiet here.
Come on, golf carts, get the fuck.
What?
So being in the area, I'm like, we have to see what's going on here, because there was other drone footage showing that there was stuff moved before the U.S. federal government came in. And then, as we know, the U.S. federal government, the federal authorities can't be trusted here. For over a decade, they let Jeffrey Epstein go on and be totally free. He not only had a private wing of his own jail cell, he was able to leave during the day. He was supposed to check in with parole officers that he never did check in.
No one's looking into this. So we took it upon ourselves to, well, let's do it.
Someone that was extremely powerfully connected to presidents, prime ministers, royalty, and was able to evade law enforcement for some of the worst, most despicable acts in this world. I mean, we're talking about billionaires, leaders, bankers, the most influential people who were on that island, and there was really no one else to verify it. All of I've really seen from independent media is a guy who is anonymous or a girl who is anonymous that is flying drones over the island and just documenting what is there.
Stories of the decade. Epstein, you broke this story. How did you start tracking him, and how did you first find out about Jeffrey Epstein?
I knew about Epstein because 20 years ago, there'd be articles about this group of billionaires wanting to save the world with Warren Buffett, Ted Turner, Bill and Melinda Gates, and all these other people, only black persons, Oprah Winfrey, meeting in New York and other areas to create a, quote, alternative world government, the one that's already there, I guess, to save the world from overpopulation.
So many different things. They have so many different witnesses, so many different victims coming forward. No, that's just not important. Come on. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's important to understand here is that this independent anonymous drone operator who's afraid to release his identity, who's flying the drones over there, captured Epstein's island with particular items in there that were swept between the federal government coming in. And with the federal government and their investigations not trustworthy, this is why we went in there to try to take a look at everything. And I looked at everything. Interesting things that I personally found were these like little satanic gargoyles with horns on their heads that were all over the property that were very creepy.
The fact this is coming out is not just by accident. This is threatening a huge wing of the blackmail system. He was like running secret breeding programs and weird facilities and hospitals, and the whole cover of it was these rich billionaires having sex with young girls. And he was really running a scientific blackmail ring to get all the scientists in to then have sex with a girl, look like they're 20, they're really 16. Then it's like, hey, you really got to join the club. It's a 12-year-old.
Again, the Jeffrey Epstein story is an incredibly important story to really understand what's happening behind the scenes. There's a reason that guy who flies the drone around the island is anonymous. There's a reason Epstein was able to evade any kind of justice for his horrible acts for decades and decades. There's a reason why this case is so significant, and yet the mainstream media just totally threw it out of the news cycle. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Epstein would just get on his private jet, land at the St. Thomas airport, take a helicopter over so no one else would see him to do other things. There was air traffic control that actually came out and whistleblowed and said that he saw many small children going onto the helicopter, going onto the private jet. So, the severity of this case is still widely unknown. We still don't know so many significant parts of this story, and the story is just erased from the mainstream media. No, the story can't be erased. This story can't be ignored, and it can't be ignored only if we start paying attention to it and start sharing the fact that this is still an open case. This is still a case that has a lot of serious implications, where we have royalty like Prince Andrew in the United Kingdom that are still running about free to do whatever horrible acts that they want to do. And again, the implications here, the allegations here are so severe, and it's just insane. I mean, even talked to that guy yesterday, he was like, yeah, the whole island knew. Everyone knew what was going on here. This is why we need independent media. This is why we need independent investigation.
This is a real chance to burn down a large segment of the very worst elements of the globalist system. And so that's why it shows how the economic and political warfare has gone to such a high level. It's forcing all these big blackmail rings and this Ponzi scheme out in the open. It's not greenlit inside the CIA to run around and have these pedophile rings that corrupt bipartisan groups. It's done by this criminal network that's taking over the intelligence agencies and the corporate systems and the academic systems. And once you have that, you have everything.
You are a criminal for not reporting it.